Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome back to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach,
And I'm Pepper.
and today we're coming back with another Try Before You Buy, where we show you some games that are on Board Game Arena that you can try out to see if you like the game enough and whether or not it's worth it to buy the physical copy. And some of these that we do, we actually have a physical copy and we kind of compare them and stuff. But in this case, it's a game that isn't actually available yet. And we're filming this before their Kickstarter campaign launches. We've had a couple of these now, it seems like, that have been released on Board Game Arena where it's kind of a Kickstarter either going on at the same time or now this one's kind of giving you a chance to play it beforehand. And yeah, we thought this would be a good one because when we're releasing this video, it will have released or will have opened up the day before. So you can go check that out. We'll link that below. But yeah, the only version we have to look at really right now is this, and
Yes.
yeah. And Pepper, you can explain the game. You got it on your screen currently.
Yes, I do have it on my screen. So it's going to be hard for you because at the end of this, we'll do a little playthrough, finishing out the game,
Okay.
hopefully. And so you might have to be torn between viewing our Skype screen, our Zoom screen, and your own screen for playing. But who cares about that?
Yes. So
So
yeah, this is River Valley Glassworks, by the way.
yes. Beautiful, adorable artwork by, can you guess? Name that artist who has definitely never drawn critters before, adorable critters. Um, but yeah, so this one is a game where you kind of have, as you can see, we each have one of these boards, and we each start with some stones here of various colors and shapes. And on your board here, I guess I can kind of zoom in here. On the board, it kind of talks about the rarity of each of the colors in there, with the white and purple being the most common ones that you're going to see out there. As you can see, a lot of white, a good amount of purple as well, with the rarer ones not even having any out there currently, being orange and yellow. And on this, on your turn, you can either place one of the stones, which I'll do that here. So you choose either to place on the river or take from the lake. So the lake is on the right over here, and that's pretty much when you're low on your stones, you can have a maximum of 5 at once. You just pretty much replenish with stones from the lake, but mostly you're going to be taking one of these. So place on the river, you choose one, and the shape tells you one of these locations. You can see the shapes printed on the tiles. So if I choose this one here, that means that from that tile, I get all the pieces on the tile to the left or the right of it. So with these two shapes that I unfortunately have in my supply, that limits me to just one section that I can take from. But if I went over here, I could take either of these ones to the side of it. And based on rarity, we don't have many of very rare colors out here.
Mhm.
Light green is really the rarest one, and that's one that I can't get.
Well,
Uh,
you could actually. You
I
do
could,
have another option where you could choose two of the same, and then you can do any of them.
yes, two of
And
the same shape, and then that pretty much turns it wild. And but it is a little wonky in the app because then once you do that, you turn it wild. You have to choose like this is counting for this shape, and then from that spot, I will choose left or right. That could be a little confusing to
Mhm.
maybe do initially, maybe your first time that you're doing it. And that is pretty much then you get it. So let's say I do that's not a good. I won't do that. That's not. I'm going to go and I'm going to play this purple and pick up this black gem there. And then
Yep.
once you get them, you claim those ones, the ones that you place out there, go on the tiles for future people to possibly take, and you place them. So this column, this first column now, that is where all of my black gems are going to go, my cobalt gems. So another one would go above it, and above that, and above that, and above that. If you get too many and go over the top, any excess pieces are going to go in your overflow area, which will be -3 points per piece at the end of the game. So you do not want that. And at the end of the game, you score for your highest 2 columns. So score the height of your tallest 2 columns. So preferably you want these last 2 columns because their scores are much more valuable than filling up this first column. If you get a level, the highest column over here, you're going to be 35 points. And then maybe your next highest is 4 on the second track, 4 up, that's going to be 8 points. So even though this may be worth more over here in the second from the right column, if you have it filled with 3 of them, that's worth 18 points, which is more than the 8. That second column is still taller, so that's going to be the one that scores. So that's why I wanted a little rarer gem in the first column versus the white and purple. I like to save those preferably for the more valuable tracks to be able to get a lot of them and score those points. Additionally, you score points for each row that you are completing. So based on the amount of points here, as far right as you can get with filled spaces in each row that you have, you're going to score 1, 2, 4, 7, 11, 16, or 22 points. So kind of 2 ways to think about it in that way.
Yep, and there's one more color than there are total different columns. So that's another way you can get those -3s. Yeah, it's just kind of that trying to manage the best you can with kind of what you've got.
Yeah.
And then, as you can see there, the tiles moved up above.
Yep.
Once you place that, and the one that you just took everything from will get moved over to the far leftmost, and it'll be refilled with the number of stones based on the tile that was previously furthest left. So you can see there's 2 little pebble stones there. So it refilled with 2 new pieces of glass.
Yes. So then now the next tile that goes over there will be replaced with 1 piece of glass.
Yep. And I will.
What's he gonna do? He's got 2 circles and a triangle, so he's gonna have access to a lot here. A lot of good things, I would say. Yep, that's what I was thinking he might do.
Yep.
So
And when you have
now,
multiple, you get to choose which order you
yes.
want them in.
Yeah. Yep. So he has the blue and the green here. So he can put those in any order that he wishes. Interesting, interesting. Although now, for his rows, if he wants to start multiple rows, that green is going to be pretty rare to get, I must say.
That is true. But yeah, so that's kind of the whole game. It is relatively
Very
simple.
simple, very quick as well.
It is very quick because it's
Play
once someone gets 17, then everyone gets 1 more turn. You get refilled if you were like, I think you get refilled up to like 3 of the gems you can no longer take from the lake once the end is triggered, and then you get 1 more turn and are able to, just try to complete as much as possible. Or I think it goes to the end of that round and then 1 more turn.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
So yeah, it's pretty simple overall. I do think that this does a pretty good job at probably implementing what you're going to do, and this makes it pretty easy based on when you're picking the tiles to be able to see which ones they match up with.
It's really highlighted.
Right. I will say I have not seen this in real life, so I don't know how definitely different these are going to look.
I've already mixed them up. This version.
Yes, that's what makes me a little nervous, is that some of these shapes are somewhat close to each other, and I feel like in real life it's going to look even closer than this.
Yeah, because I mean, if you want good deluxe components like that, look like actual glass, the better you get component-wise, the harder I'm thinking it's going to be to actually tell them apart. Because these are already similar, like this one.
Possibly shape and possibly color.
Yeah, maybe because they have kind of light and dark blue and green, kind of yellow orange as well. I don't know colorblind wise what that's going to do, but even otherwise, I have also kind of mixed that up, thinking one is a color I didn't have, and I'm like, oh wait, no, I have that one. That's the other green, or that's the other blue. So that could be an issue as well. So yeah, I like that it helps that, but At the same time, I think that kind of clicking all the buttons and going through the process also might harm it a little bit with this.
No.
I had to click both of these to then turn it wild to then actually grab what I want. Where if it is easy in real life, I can just boom boom grab it.
No. Yep.
I could see that being easier in real life slightly.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I don't think
Uh,
like filling out the board is. I don't think that would be that hard in real life. I don't think that
no.
it's a huge advantage to have the computer fill it in for you. Obviously, adding up your score is probably going to be pretty simple in real life here, but it does it for you in this one. So that's, I don't know, decently helpful.
Yeah, and I think I believe in a picture I saw, and I don't know if it'll be all versions, but I think there was even a little tracker to keep track of how many you got to show
Oh,
when you got to 17
yeah,
on your player board as a part of your player board.
yeah,
I
that'd
think
be
I saw
nice.
something like that, but I don't know if that was going to be all versions or if that was going to be deluxe.
Yeah,
So depending on that, I don't
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if
That does kind of sneak up. It seems it
yeah,
comes quickly, and it can be a little hard to actually know. I mean, it does say it here that on the right, our faces might be covering it, but it does say how many glasses we have on the board on the right here.
yep,
So that is helpful to be aware of.
yep.
Um,
Um, but yeah, and I don't know what the plan is with this one, if they're going to keep this available on here after, or if this was
yeah,
just a good way to try before you buy. Uh, it might just be that case. So obviously, in that scenario, you may not be able to try if they do take it off after the campaign is done. I don't know what the I guess current plans are, or if they're going to keep it on here. Um, but I think personally, just with the level of game that this is and the number of games,
yeah,
we have a decent amount of games, a blessed amount of games, and we have a lot of them that feel like they are at kind of this level, which is
yeah,
probably a little bit on the um, easier side than my kind of preference is. So I'm not necessarily looking for more and more of those.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
think this is a fun little puzzle that uh, I'd like to play every now and then. I just don't know that I'd necessarily want to own it personally. So I think I
yeah,
would prefer it in this version as opposed to the physical version. Uh,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I, I could see both of them being good.
I think I agree with you there. Just for what the game delivers for us personally, and I don't think we're looking to add many more of these level of games to our collection without absolutely like really loving them or really being a clever twist or something. So for us, yeah, I think this is probably the best way to experience it. But
Mhm.
I will say I don't think that one, like if you don't have that problem where you have way too many games to fit on your shelves currently to where you have to really be mindful of that, I don't think that one is going to be like just the way to play. I think that both versions are going to be pretty easy to play, and have the same pros and cons. Like we said with the shapes, I had issues on here even doing it. So I don't think that even if you have issues in real life, possibly telling them apart, I don't think that this totally fixes it. I think it
Right.
does. It is still there if that is an issue. And so I don't think that I would say this is much easier to play this way or that way. So in that
Mhm.
way, they're about even for me. But for our personal situation, I do prefer it on here. Although I
Yeah,
don't get nice little glass beads to play with, sadly,
that is fair. That
that
is
I
fair.
assume would be in the game.
That's true. But yeah, so definitely, if this is interesting, definitely go check out the campaign because they may have additional stuff outside of this.
Yeah,
I don't know. Because yeah, we're filming this about a week before it launches, half a week before it launches. So I don't know what they'll all have on there. It could be additional stuff that would possibly make us change our mind, but it's kind of how we feel on the base game.
yeah,
So yeah, I think that's kind of it for that. And now we'll do kind of just play through the rest of this
Yeah.
game. It shouldn't be too long, I don't think, but
I feel like you're set up pretty good. I think you got me here. I'm about ready to forfeit.
oh boy. No, no, don't forfeit yet. I have to whoop you. Whoop you up pretty good.
I love the custom player boards of it. Just the artwork's obviously great. It's not just a different color for each player. It's different artwork, different background, and even different name. Pretty cool.
Oh,
Ooh, he's set up pretty good. He's got his white and purple in them already, which kind of forced to do with the board as it is.
right?
Um, but I'm gonna have to take 4 glass from here. I could just get 4 of the same shapes, and I can just be a wild man.
You definitely could be.
I think I will get.
But yeah, and maybe this is something they'll do on the campaign, but like you said, I like the different characters, but I kind of wish they had some powers. I don't know what I
Yep.
would do for powers, but that would uh, kind
Yeah,
of
when
make it
I'm.
feel a little bit cooler. But at the same time, the game is quite simple, so I don't really know
Yeah.
necessarily what you could do for powers without like having it totally break the game. When a game becomes a little too simple, I think it sometimes is tougher
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
to
that could.
add powers. But maybe
Yeah, I
I
see him.
suppose
My
thought
guy
about it a little bit.
stacking his little rocks on his head there, and I'm like, oh, I want to bring that into the game here. I don't know how that would work, but I want to do it.
Right.
Uh, yeah, I don't know what your crocodile alligator would do. Probably not pleasant. Oh, now we're getting all the
Snap the glass off of yours.
orange. Okay, what can I reach? I do hate that you have to click that you are going to. Maybe I can change it in settings, but click that you're going to place glass, and then actually do it instead of because I always click my glass, and then it's like, oh, nothing happens. I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I have to say that I'm taking glass to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Uh,
That is one of and like you said, maybe there is a way to change that setting.
yeah, I do really like. Yeah, this might actually sway it towards this version because just highlights what you can take. Although it
Hmm.
is confusing because I'm thinking that I can take this, but I can't take that because that's got the
That's
black
true.
border. I think I might go wild here. What do
Uh-oh.
you have? And I'm gonna say it's this. I'm gonna take this. This is gonna be
Oh
super
boy.
stacked, but that's stacked with colors that you already have. You don't really want to get those.
Maybe I do.
Maybe you do. So I am going to. He went there first, and if I do end up taking this, I kind of want those blues and purples a little later. I'm gonna do that. There's a lot more purple out there. I'll do that. Maybe I'll have to focus on those 2 rows being my top.
Oh boy, the hits just
Maybe
keep coming.
maybe he just yeah more. Oh geez,
Hmm.
there's just no other colors out there. That is one thing with the game that sometimes it just doesn't come together with the colors
Yeah.
that you need remaining. It's so hard to get more in there. I mean, you're
Yeah.
drawing them from the bag, but it's just 1 or 2 at a time. They say sometimes games say, "Oh, this is rare," and it doesn't really feel it. It does feel rare in this game.
It definitely does. And yeah, we've only ever played this at 2 players on here, so it might feel different with more.
Oh
So you
yeah,
might get a little bit more selection, but um, yeah, in a 2 player game, it definitely they do feel a lot more rare for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Like you said, there hasn't even been another one of my darker greens come out yet. Uh, and yeah, there's
um,
been no yellow or orange that have come out to this part of the board anyway.
oh geez, I might have to take some more glass. I'm just not liking what's out there.
Oh boy, he's gonna take some negative points. I like it.
That's true. Yeah, we'll place some glass out there.
Play something
It's the
good for
same
me.
things either way. Let's do that. There we go.
Hmm. Interesting, interesting.
Oh boy, I set up
Hmm.
some green there. He can take it. Oh, he can take anything, really.
Yeah.
Oh, I might want to. I might want to set his purple. He's getting close. I don't know if we've had. I might add maybe a couple negative uh, extra tokens, but I got to be careful about my purple.
Yeah, that is the one thing you gotta watch out for. But it's also, I don't know. I feel like this is such a filler feeling game that you could play it multiple times in a row and not worry about that too much.
I haven't
Ooh,
gone for
yellow.
rose very much here, so I'm thinking maybe I do that.
And see how it plays out.
Yeah, bold strategy, Cotton.
It is a bold strategy. Um,
Although, yeah, you always do really good at the rows and the columns. It seems. I don't know how you do both. I don't know how you do it.
I try very hard. In the end, it matters. Ah, man. It's just so tough. I don't really want to give you that, but then there's just so
Yeah,
many of those pink ones out there.
yeah.
I don't really want to take a bunch of those either.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's true. Yeah.
dang it, dang it, dang it. Um,
Well, you know that you could have two turns in a row here because I'm going to have to
I
take
do.
glass.
I
That
do.
that does bring some thinkiness into the game for being pretty simple. It's very important starting to learn kind of when you do take glass and when you're forced to, kind of possibly giving people two turns in a row. And
Right.
being aware of that is very important.
Yeah, for sure.
Do I go grab a bunch of orange? Might just get that out there. Dang. I probably don't want it green. Well, I don't want white either, so
What do you want?
when do I want it?
We're gonna see how this plays out. I don't know if it's gonna be good. Ah, of course that comes with that one.
Dang.
Dumb.
Oh, dang it. Do I do I do I place this? Maybe I want this. Maybe I want this section highlighted. That's highlighted. Maybe I want that. Purple, the yellow. This, oh, but this is juicy. I said I was going for it. I better go for it. But
You better.
I didn't even look at what else was on the board. I'm just doing that. Look at how full that is. Maybe I can rush the end game. We're both at 15. Oh my goodness. See, it just
Coming
sneaks up
quick.
on me.
It
At
really
least you do get
does.
extra turns after it. I like that. But who was first player? I was first player, so gotta be aware. So if he sets it here, takes two, then
That's true.
Beach get one more turn. That would
Don't know.
technically
I
be
think.
finishing the round, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, he's gone. I didn't realize how he's got some
Got
good
some
ones
good
there.
rows. Although I'm gonna need
You
a black
do.
for that next one. There's only one out there. And you also would like black, so I shouldn't have pointed that out. But that would also give me extra turns with that.
I'm taking the negative points to get another one of those. So we're gonna see how that plays out. But
Okay.
oh yeah, that didn't count. Oh, I was thinking that'd get me to 17.
No, it
Oh,
didn't.
that was a bad move.
Didn't. Oh,
I
geez.
forgot that being a negative, it would. Because I thought I'd trigger it, and then, like I said, it gives you more of the glass that I might deny you something.
Oh, dang it. Oh, no. Um, what do I want here? Oh, geez, this is tough. Like, I have a while, and I want to get that black. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Stack it in there. He doesn't want that. I think I'm going to do that. Oh, geez. But I also want to get the wild, but then I'm left with this token. If I use the wild to get that one black, then I'm left with whatever's next to this. But I'm going to do that, and I'm going to take.
Is he ending it? He is, and I get some randomness.
Ooh, and I got one random. Probably not the best strategy, but we're on camera. The pressure is on. My mind is going blank as to what even I'm doing.
Oh boy.
But now my green is scoring for my next column. I don't like that. Dang it.
So I'm gonna get 2 turns here. Shoot.
He's got 2 circles and a diamond. So that's these. So he could take
another
anything,
3.
Anything. He could take anything.
Could.
But by those gems, he could take anything in this first 4 sections. Ooh. Oh, he's this guy. Setting that up with every color that I have.
Yeah, it's probably not a good move.
I'm like, good, but also not the greatest. But I can take anything. I don't want multiple purple, that's for sure. Even if it comes with a yellow.
Double.
Although that yellow is pretty good. That yellow would get me 6 points. And the orange would get me 5 points.
Yeah.
But then that's also losing me 6 points, so probably not. I could just get the yellow and get the 6 points. And I could get that. I could get anything, I guess. I think it was probably maybe worth it. There's no way I'm just increasing the blue. That's not going to happen, sadly. I think I want to do it with the orange. And probably get... Let's just do that. See what happens.
Come on, double dark blue, double dark or black or whatever. Not quite.
That's not bad. Well, that's pretty bad. Yellow's kind of useless for you.
Yeah.
I just actually got 21 to 18 currently. Really need.
That's not a good one. That doesn't get me anything. That doesn't get me anything.
Yeah, you really don't even have anything to make more rows.
I mean, taking that white is probably my best move.
It really
only
is.
3 points.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
But yeah, the light green comes with 2 negatives. Sadly, it's just yeah, that is a tough situation, but it can happen.
Yeah, I think that's probably my best one.
Oh boy!
Oh no! Well, that can't be right.
68 to 65. I snuck away with it.
So I mean, it ended up being pretty close.
Yeah. Sadly, I had to settle for this 8 points with the green there, but I got the 25 with purple. You got 20 and 15, but I was able to make it up with all of these rows there. But yeah, I thought that was pretty close. That's about what I was expecting. But I thought you were going to maybe pull it away with that bottom row there, but you just weren't able to get anything in that last round. That was
that was the unfortunate thing. Only getting 3 points there was tough because I couldn't. The ones that were stacked up all had those pinks, or else finally those yellows and oranges were coming out. Which was just a little bit too late. Like they would have still been good for you probably because you still had some open spaces, but for me, unfortunately, didn't have like the light green and yellow or something because that would have been really big or something. But it's the way it goes out. But yeah, the last 2 games we've played of this have been kind of close like that. So I wonder if maybe once you kind of know how to play it, they're going to be typically pretty close games. I think the first game or two we played of it, I think we had some blowouts, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, one way or another. But yeah, it's a good implementation, I think, on here. So definitely check it out. I'm assuming it'll be available at least during the Kickstarter. So I would do both. Go look at the Kickstarter and uh, check the game out for yourself. It's a quick one. Like you
Yeah,
saw there, we hadn't been talking and stuff. But we really wanted to crank it out. You could probably play it in under 5 minutes
yeah, yeah. I think so.
in this version. I think.
Yeah,
I don't think that's too crazy to think that it could be done.
yeah,
So yeah, but otherwise, subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. If you've made it this far, we'd love for you to subscribe, like the video, comment, let us know what your thoughts are of this game. If you're interested in it, if you're going to be backing it or maybe buying it after the fact, hopefully if it goes to retail. Uh, but yeah, otherwise we hope to see you on our other videos. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on our content.